Comes in swinging into the 6-yard box. It's met well by Brett Pitman, who was never going to miss from there. He would have wanted to do better with that. It falls to Lowe instead, though. Lowe into the bottom corner. Pitman's claiming it. Running out of this one. The Portsmouth fans have been vocal all game. They've enjoyed what they've seen. They've ended the season on a positive, that's for sure, with a 2-0 victory. Final score at Fraston Park. Portsmouth 2, Peterborough 0.
So Kenny, one suspects the end-of-term report would read something along the lines of done well but could do better.
Always you're trying to get promoted, and getting one of those 3 places was our aim this year, and it will be next year. Finishing 8th in this league is no mean achievement. It's not something that we should be worried about. We've just spent 4 years in League 2. We're looking to build, and we want to now, after getting out of League 2 after that amount of years, work out a way and make sure that we keep progressing so that we can get out of League 1 and up into the Championship, and keep that consistent build-up that everybody's talking about at this particular time. For this year anyway, there's been spells when we've looked quite a good team, and there's been other spells where we've struggled, and there's different reasons for that, but we have to make sure that we learn, and we get that squad as strong as possible, as robust as possible, and as balanced as possible for next year, for all of us. We learn about the division for all of the players. If we've got quite a number of young players in the squad that they improve next year, they will be a year older, a year more experienced. Most importantly, a year stronger. And as a squad, then we can be as robust and durable through that winter, so that we can, beat our target of points.
You say there are reasons. I suppose you would call it inconsistency. But what are the reasons? You look so good at one stage, and then you concede silly goals at another. Yeah,
we have been where we are, and there's been probably 2 very consistent sides during the course of the year, and a high number of us chasing anyway, right down to sort of 2/3 of the way down the season, and all could point to spells of very good spells. Not you're looking at the top 3 sides, and Wigan, Blackburn and Shrewsbury all looked at one stage, they all get into the 90 points, which is a fantastic total. Now that's real consistency, and that it generally is a very, very high points total that you need to get automatic promotion in this league. 2 points a game plus needs to be the bar. Generally the playoffs are 70 points, 75 points, something around there gets you 6th space. So you need that amount of points anyway. We're 6 points off the playoff spaces. We're not disappointed with the season, not disappointed at all. The top 10 of this division is a very good competition, and many good squads, good budgets, good players now. Getting Championship places isn't easy, and with the top of our game in this country improving constantly, it's a world game now, and it pushes the players down. So, the competition in the top 10 of this league is very good, and we're pleased to be a part of that. At no stage or way do we take it for granted that we should just be there. We have to earn every point we get. We have to earn every win, and confidence in teams and in players is hard earned and very easy to give away. So we know those things, but even so, when you're asking me for the season, and most importantly, our aspirations for next year, we want to build on it. We want to try to go one better, and we have to work out a way of attacking the top of this division, and if we can, consistently being a force in League 1.
And here is Brett Pitman. Oh, and he's done well. He's won the battle. Pitman still and do it all himself. Pitman goes on. Oh, and he scored as well. In comes the delivery. Pitman free header! 2-0! That'll do.
Trying to find a bit of space, and they'll do just that. Good opportunity here for the home side. Parried and bundled in. It's a substitute, Van Kessel. Van Kessel just slips between 2. It's Van Kessel. That's cleverly worked and superbly finished. Oxford United have their 3rd goal.
Was Rochdale and Oxford, the first 2 games, a microcosm almost of your entire season?
Yeah, maybe that was the case, and there's quite a lot of teams with similar budgets this division, and performances show that. Even within a one game, you get some momentum. It's very close, key decisions, key moments sometimes in games, but it just shows you don't need to make too much of a gap up to be a good side. Another 5 or 10% over the course of the season, whether that be in both boxes from set pieces, ball retention, game management, got great saves from the goalkeeper, balance of your squad being consistent, less injuries. You do need to then make up that 5 or 10% that can make a big difference for us.
Yeah, you say about injuries. I mean, you lost Tariq Dennis Holmes, who looked to be great for this club, and there were people like McCrory, who you lost as well early on. But how much of a blow is that?
Yeah, it has happened. It has happened with our squad during the course of the season, but it's about the players that are playing. That's the most important thing. I don't like to dwell on or use that as an excuse. And for our young players, then they have to be ready and have to be ready to step in. So you have to plan a squad, work as hard as you can to reduce injuries, make sure that your fixture list is catered for, because they come thick and fast in this league, that. And then particularly when the winter comes, when the cold weather really comes, not just in our club, you do see then how strong your squad is. That is the case every year, and for us we have to plan to try to maximise that.
You're out there, you're coaching players, you're talking about set pieces, and you're doing all sorts of things out there, and you go on a night somewhere like Doncaster, and that you're out of it before you've even started. How does a manager not tear his hair out?
Yeah, maybe that is the case, but it is an unpredictable game, football, and that's the beauty of it. That's why it's so good, it's so interesting, and at times you have to ride with that. But I do believe if perseverance is the key. If you persevere, if you learn, if you always stick at it, if you never relax and always keep going, then you can make up the gap. And the good thing about Portsmouth is that I feel it's a club that is capable in League One of being a force. And the gap that we have to find, we have to get better, we have to improve to get where we want to go. We know that. We're not underestimating an 8th place finish. It's hard earned this year, and nothing to be ashamed of. And we should be proud of many aspects of our play this year. But as a club, every one of us have to learn, we have to persevere, we have to stick at it, and we have to do everything we can to get better, make sure that even by maybe a small margin, we're better than the opposition. Be a very competitive division next year, with some different clubs obviously. It'll be an interesting proposition, won't be any easier. We'll have to earn everything we get next year, but we're capable as a club, and we want to, from the start of pre-season, be as strong as we possibly can, have a balanced squad, and really pinpoint where we want to be, and hit the ground running and make sure we start well.
One of the few high points for you will be, and one of the promises for you will be, that you were rarely overwhelmed in any game by any team.
No, that's the case. We weren't down the bottom of the league, around the relegation places. We were rarely, if any time, in the bottom half of the league, and that's good. That's something that you have to earn. Doesn't necessarily get given to you, and we'll have to earn it again next year. But for us anyway, recognise where we are. Be honest about it, but always set to improve. Always set to make the bar higher, and try to do everything you can to achieve.
It's Brett Pitman then with the ball on the spot. Captain stepping up and taking the responsibility. Pompey haven't played very well. Brett Pitman equalises, blasts it into the net. It's Pompey 1, Walsall 1. 74 minutes gone.
You've done somebody up there with Pitman to share the load.
I think the big thing is spreading the goals around as much as just always having strikers. I do think that, say for next year, we recruit, but players within it, midfield players that score. We've generally, I think our best performances have been off a 4-3-3 formation. So, the likes of Gareth Evans, Jamal Lowe, even talked about the centre backs. Making sure that they come up with goals, because if you're looking at Blackburn, the goals and assists by Mulgrew, got 13 goals. And a lot of assists from centre-back position. So I do think spreading the goals around and finding goals from everywhere is a big thing. But yes, if you have additional strikers that can chip in and can make the difference, particularly in the front three formation. You know, I think that can supplement whoever's playing at the point of your attack.
You must have been delighted to see throughout the season the likes of Ben Close and Adam May come in and flourish.
Yeah, they did. There's a number of young players I've got a lot of time for here. They have the ability and they have the temperament as well to keep improving and to be good players for Portsmouth at the level we're at, definitely, and beyond. And yeah, I do feel that we should be working with them and be patient with them, because they are going to come. If you see it, the Peterborough game, to some degree, obviously nothing on the game, but we and myself as a manager, I wanted to finish off the season strong. I wanted to finish it off with a win, with a positive performance for the supporters, for the belief of the players, and for the optimism of everybody at Portsmouth. And that was the case. And in that particular game, both Bass in goal and Houndstruck played. Now, they've both got stronger physically during the course of the year. Next year, they'll be stronger again. And they have to keep, working hard at improving. They have the temperament to do that. There's a number of players in that category, I'm pleased to say, at the club. We do need to, at the right time, bring in more so that competition is genuinely there right the way through the squad. But all of our young players have to learn, have to improve, have to make sure that they don't fall away. If they do, as a group and as a squad, we will keep progressing.
Was 8 defeats at home too many in the end?
Yeah, I mean, generally we haven't had too many draws. That's been the case, and we've gone for games, and we want that to be the case. So yes. Does it need to be better? Are we capable? At Fratton Park, yes, we are capable, because the passion of the crowd is there, something that we always talk about, and myself as a manager, something that I do want to realise, and for us to reduce that next year, yes.
Were there any high points for you?
There's many high points, many individual games. Atmosphere at Fratton Park at times was fantastic, during games, and place really feels like it's going to take off and lift off, which is great. It's great to bring that as a manager as something that you want to realise more and more. And we all know it's there. It can be a difference for us when we're talking about, how can we as a club capitalise? How can we be one of the strongest clubs and one of the best teams? The passion of our supporters, both home and away, is terrific. And at times it's been there. At times, obviously, because of the performances on the pitch, has been, slightly subdued. We understand that, but generally, we have a crowd that really do want to get behind the team. I think that's an asset for us, an asset we want to realise, both home and away.
What is the ingredient then you need to add from last season to move forward and learn for the next?
We have to make sure we are humble about what we do and realise that we have to earn every point that we get, and we have to work hard to do that. There's no givens in football, and we have to have that type of attitude first, and secondly, during the course of the summer, if we can, make sure we're as strong as possible. Now, there's been a number of contract talks and very good signings internally during the course of the season as well. Which we're very pleased with players committing their future to the club, knowing that it's a club that can attack the top of this division and when it's ready and when it does, can go into the Championship and hold its own as well. So, players are keen to stay here and to come here. So some good work done if we can add, key complement and competition at the right time. Make sure we just have a little bit more depth than we did last year, and that will naturally happen with, I've mentioned Houndstruck and Bass getting stronger during the course of the year. There's quite a number of young players that will be physically stronger next year. And we want to be then as robust and as durable as we can through those winter months to make sure that we can beat our points total next year.
Because I suppose there must have been some consistency somewhere, because to finish where you did finish. But if you look at the first set of 10 games, it was 4 wins, 4 losses, 2 draws. The second set of 10 games was 5 wins, 5 losses. So there was an inconsistency as well.
Yeah, an inconsistency of let's say, a side, being first, second or third, if you like, but we finished 8th, so that overall isn't a bad situation to be in. And we don't think we're in a bad situation at all. We don't think it's been a bad season, but quite rightly, we have to set the bar high and aim to improve, and I always want better. And that's the case. Be realistic about where we are and what we can achieve, and also realise that it doesn't just happen. But then, as an overall, try to make sure that. We're stepping in the right direction, we're getting better. It has to be the aim. Last year, I said all along, try to get one of those 3 promotion places. It was always going to be difficult. It will be next year, but ultimately it has to be our aim. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm setting the bar at halfway in any league. You might, realistically by the end say, well, that's been a good season, and we realise that. But for many times for the players and for the supporters, we should aim for the top. That's what makes it exciting. And for us again, we set the bar high and then work very, very hard, and we persevere in terms of achieving that.
For you, looking at it objectively now, are the right sides going automatically up, and are the right sides in the playoffs?
It looks like it, yes. In terms of squads, both Charlton and Scunthorpe come through strong at the end, and they do have strong squads, stronger than the likes of ourselves, Peterborough, who have just been on the fringe of it. There's sides that fell away before that had a chance. Oxford, very well fancied. For myself, I asked many of the managers early season, who they fancied, who had the best squad, and Oxford were mentioned to me quite a number of times early in the season. Bristol Rovers. There's many sides that had a chance of that top 6 right up until the last month, and for them anyway, they'll be trying to do exactly what we're doing: is strengthen, go again, make up the difference between where they are and now.
That was another game really away at Oxford where we matched them till half time and then just fell away in that second half.
Yeah, they had too much power for us on that particular day. It was a lesson for us. I did feel they perhaps excuse me, didn't reach those heights. Some of those players didn't reach those heights, and then we obviously finished above them. But on that particular day in the second half, they deserved to win.
Good touch from Close, goes down in the penalty area, and there's the decision from the referee. He's barely given anything Pompey's way all afternoon, and Close is tripped in the box. Pitman for Pompey, no doubt there, dispatched into the bottom right-hand corner of Walton's net. Fratton Park erupts. Here's Thompson in a bit of space, chance to cross from the right, low ball across, Jamal Lowe on the spin, 2-0 to Portsmouth. Jamal Lowe, the promotion hero, under Paul Cook at Notts County.
If there was a game that epitomised what you could do, it was the Wigan at home, which everybody loved, and it was there on a national stage on television.
Yeah, it was a great game for us. It was a good day. The crowd, got behind what was a good performance from the supporters, from the players. Sorry, at the right time we got, key moments went for us, and also, if you're looking at the likes of Grigg, weren't had an ankle injury, and that was the reason he didn't play. But things went for us on that particular day, which you do need to happen. And for us anyway, it was one of the great atmospheres during the course of this season for Fratton Park. We know it's there. It's a potential as a manager I want to consistently realise if I can. And the atmosphere both home and away that has been generated by the supporters, it really is appreciated by me and by the players.
Everyone bar you and Danny Rose seems to have gone home for the summer, but Danny epitomises. You lost him at a crucial stage, really. Yeah,
we've lost different people, and O'Keefe came back towards the end 4 months out. Obviously Danny was in a rich vein of form and influence, has a big influence. Not just his football, he brings a calmness through his personality as well. And at times we lack that. We just found a little form here. You're just asking about the Wigan game with Walkes just in front of the back four, and unfortunately then the next game, he went out the team. So, during the course of the season, your squad has to adapt and adjust and make sure it can find a way of still winning. For Danny now, he's worked hard at his rehab. Like a few of the lads, unfortunately the season's just run out on him, because he would be coming back about now. But the good thing is now he can have a positive summer and hit the ground running when pre-season comes. And the plus for me is everybody will be ready. We won't be waiting for people during the course of pre-season. Everybody will be ready by day one. If with the right additions, we can start off strong during pre-season. We hope and we aim to hit that ground running and have a good start next year.
Talking about Rose and talking about Evans, they really at some stage were out of your plans and forced their way back in. Is that what you want to see?
Yeah, very much so. We need a competitive, very competitive squad, and that brings out the best in people. And also, injuries happen. We don't want as many injuries as we had last year, but obviously, we understand that they do happen. Competition and covering injuries is something that your squad planning has to cater for. Young players coming through at the right time have to have the chance and the opportunity then in those circumstances to shine, and many have had that this year. In terms of Gareth, it's been difficult at times to always get Gareth Evans and Jamal Lowe into the team, but going 4-3-3 at the end, Jamal playing wide right with a little bit more freedom to cut across, and then Gareth, with his experience coming into midfield in a midfield three, has been away towards the end. They've both played because in terms of, let's say, our best players, they have both been in the bracket of our best players. Putting Jamal over onto the left hand side is something else that I did try as well with Gareth on the right, but I didn't feel Jamal was as effective on that side, despite when I first come here, him telling me that was his favourite position. I just didn't think that for us this year he developed that well. So changing that formation did help to get both guys in the side, and as you say, with Danny is a very, very good and calm and a structured influence to quite a young midfield at times, and for Gareth as well, just coming one more inside can help him, because I think he has goal scoring potential as well, and brings a lot to the team and should be in it.
Yeah, Jamal Lowe is a player that seems to have flourished as the season's gone on. Yeah,
like Close and his first full year, and something now he can build on. He wants to add certain things to his game, and we've set him targets for that internally, and he should be very pleased with what he's done this year, and looking forward to next year, and for all of us, consistently improving.
And look, Jamal, there will be players delighted with their season. There will be others like Conor Chaplin who will be thinking, what does he need to do?
Yeah, it's true, and he's been consistently substitute again this year. It's a position that he's had in previous years, and obviously Conor is frustrated with that. Definitely, doesn't want to be a substitute. He wants to be a regular starter. He came on at Bradford. He actually played in the Charlton game towards the end of the season. At Fratton Park, he played in the Blackpool game. He started in those. That was his last spell in the team, and since then, he's been back to the fringes of it. The main goal scoring responsibility and the point of the attack, has undoubtedly been for us Pitman this year, and for Conor anyway. I do understand, and we're very open with each other, and he doesn't want to be consistently substitute, but similarly we have to look after the club, and centre forward isn't a position that you can lack numbers in and lack players in. He still is only 21, being the point of our attack is something he's capable of, and something he's capable of in the future, and has to just keep persevering and keep working hard, and there is a Portsmouth future for him.
And Matt Clark, of course, he picked up most of the supporters' trophies and the news trophy. No surprise to you, probably?
No, not at all. Obviously, Pitman's goal record was outstanding, and Matt Clark performances, they've been the two that have featured highly, as you say, in terms of popularity towards the end of the season, both in and outside the dressing room. And for Matt anyway, it's been a good season. Dominating both boxes is something that him, Christian, Jack Watmore, we want to see. If you're looking at the very top teams, see what their centre halves do in both boxes, both in terms of goals, assists, but similarly clean sheets, because we do feel that we could do better defensively. We can reduce the goals against column again next year, and for Matt anyway, he's had a very good year, and like every player, we've analysed his game, we've set him targets for next year that, again, as an individual and as a team, we want to improve on. Yeah,
your goal difference was a bit like blood pressure, wavering between going high and then low, and eventually ending up okay.
Of course, yeah, but again, we want to set targets of conceding less goals and scoring more. It's a basic, it's an obvious thing to say, but then breaking the games down and working out how you're going to do that.
So, to improve, you need to tinker but not overhaul.
Well, we want an overall progression, definitely. When it is overhaul needed, then fine. That won't be the case. We have, as we stand at the moment, 16/17 players, on our books going into next year. We want to try to take that, if we can, around about 22, 23, 24 is optimum. But for us anyway, there's no point taking players for the sake of it. So there's no, let's say, magic number. Complement, but above all, players that I feel and we feel that we identify that actually bring quality.
And those players will be in your mind where you need them at this moment in time.
Yeah, definitely, and a balanced squad, youth experience, obviously positional is a big thing, because you do need that, and after that, enough quality and durability to go through a football season and improve on 8th in League One.
Well, Kenny, it's been a good season for most, because this is where the buzzword they wanted to finish. So thank you for that.
It's a pleasure. It's been a pleasure and a privilege to be Portsmouth manager, and just through the summer. While some of it being low key, we want to build and plan for next year and make sure that we can keep improving.
And thank you for bearing with us, lurking over you every Thursday and every pre-game.
No, my pleasure. No problems.
Thank you.
Yeah, take care.